Good afternoon. Can everybody hear me? The Friends of Stark Park is proud to present this, the 12th season of Concerts in the Park. We're excited to return after last summer's cancellation. Doesn't it feel good to be back? My name is Dick Duckoff, and it's my privilege to coordinate these concerts. I want to mention two concerts that are new to this year's concert series. Next Sunday's concert is the tribute to Billy Joel, and I hope you're all here. On August 1st, Dan Gable and the Abletones will perform. This is not new, but it's virtually new, since there was sparse attendance 2 years ago when temperatures reached nearly 100 degrees. Also new this year is the Inside Track, a strolling barbershop quartet which will entertain at a picnic concert on Thursday, August 12th at 6 o'clock in the evening. Now, all of the high-quality bands heard here, you have to understand, are not free. Without the continuing generosity of you, the audience, these performances would not be possible. The bands are free and open to the public, but this does not mean that they are offering their services gratis. The bands seem to be having fun, but the ease with which they perform is really practice professionalism. I'd like to recognize you, the audience. Without your growing attendance and support, there would be no bands performing here. So please stand and give a round of applause for this much needed and welcome sense of community that so many have made possible here at Stark Park. A round of applause, please stand. It's wonderful to hear that, and I know everybody's happy to be back with the stars of music, and I'm still starved until I hear the very first note, and then blood will start to circulate through my veins. Right now, I'm sort of in between. One thing that I should note is that the Puritan back room could not make it today. There were conflicting signals. They'll be here next week, and they'll be here for the rest of the summer. So we have to forgive that. Now, on the lawn to my right, your left, is a Stark Park table set up on the lawn so that you can visit it for a list of this summer's concerts, membership forms, brick order forms, sign-up sheets for free newsletters, and gift items for sale.
Yeah, it's been a real.
So please, at your leisure, walk over there and see what is on the table.
Sorry about that.
Now,
We want to be in the movies.
at this time, we want to give recognition to our sponsors, who generously give their support so that these concerts are possible, together with you, the audience, and together with our members. This year's sponsors are the Frederick Smythe Institute of Music, Carr and Boucher, Mayor Joyce Craig and Attorney Michael Craig, Ben Gamache, Wadley Starr and Peters, Brady Sullivan Properties, Attorney Bob Daston, the Bank of New Hampshire, Ambrosie Law Office, Cross Insurance, St. Mary's Bank, Steiner Law Office, Members First Credit Union, Angela's Pasta and Cheese Shop, the Fruit Center, Greg Powers of Keller Williams, Realty Metropolitan, Bondville and Son, Elm Street Automotive Services, Adam Valancourt Roofing and Construction, Antiques on Elm, Paul's Executive Car Care, McDowell's Auto Body, Jim Trombley Plumbing, Heating and Cooling, the Red Arrow Diner, Granite State Tire and Battery, Molly Stack Chapter DAR, the Associated Concrete Coatings, Ken Jones Ski Mart, new this year, Puritan Back Room, Sue Vachon at Coldwell Banker Realty, Birch Hill Terrace, the Most Reverend Peter A. Labashi, Bishop of Manchester. Please patronize our business sponsors. And finally, special thanks are due to you, our dedicated members, and especially to those in our audience. We thank you all. And now, the Friends of Stark Park proudly presents a band that represents the essence of traditional jazz and who has frequented this bandstand many, many years. This is a second home to them. So, please welcome the Wolverine Jazz Band.
dreamboat comes home. Forevermore we roam. And I'll meet you, yes, Mama, I'll greet you with my dreamboat. Yeah, yeah, Monday morning we'll sing a tender, tender love. And we'll be sweetheart, yes, forever. Mama, my dreamboat come home.
There we are. Well, thank you very much. We are the Wolverine Jazz Band. Happy to be back with you. That was called When My Dreamboat Comes Home. And we're going to be doing a program of all sorts of different things for you today. We've been battling the sound system. I think we've got it solved. We're working on it. Happy to see such a wonderful turnout. When I got here at 12:30, Dick said, I don't know if anybody's coming. Well, I'm glad you did, and thank you very much for doing so. We're going to do a tune that's we've been working up. We spent the whole pandemic rehearsing this one tune, so it's really good. Anyway, this is a tune that's called Egyptian Fantasy. It was recorded by Sidney Bechet. It was actually a slowed-down version of a ragtime tune called Egyptia by a fellow named Abe Holtzman back in the 1910s. This is our version of the Egyptian Fantasy. All right, that's called the Egyptian Fantasy. A little bit of a late Mideast influence there. We got a new tune now that was composed, in part anyway, by Al Jolson. He never composed anything, but he sang a lot of things and made them popular, so he got his name on the record label and on the sheet music. This is called California, Here I Come. Starts blowing and the sun is starting to fall. That's when I turn westward, knowing that's the place that I love best of all. Now California, I've been blue since I had been away from you. I can't wait till I get to going. Even now, I'm starting to call. Oh, California, here I come, right back where I started from, where bowers of flowers bloom in the spring. Each morning at dawning, birdies sing, and everything the sun kissed misses won't be late. That's why I can hardly wait. Open up your golden gate, California, here I come. Well, thank you very much. Let's go California, Here I Come. And we're going to do an older tune for you, believe it or not. This is a tune that was composed by a fellow named Ike Smith, who must have been interesting because he called this Mabel's Dream. We don't know what her dream was, but we'll try to give you a picture of it at any rate. This was composed and recorded by King Oliver's Creole Jazz Band in 1923. That's called Mabel's Dream. So we're going to do a tune leaping all the way ahead to the 1960s right now. This is a tune that came from a show by the same name. Actually, Louis Armstrong had a medium-sized hit recording on this one. This is called Come to the Cabaret. By the way, we have a lovely dance floor out here and clouds. So if you'd like to dance, show off your moves, now is the time. Well, thank you very much. We're going to feature Tom Boats on the next number. Actually, let me tell you who's up here. I haven't done that yet. We have Tom Boats on trombone, soon to be vocals. Jeff Hughes on trumpet, which he just pointed out, although he may pick up a flugelhorn in a moment. Rick McWilliams on tuba. Jimmy Mazzy on banjo and vocals. Dave Didrikson on the drums. Ross Pito on piano. My name is John Clark. We're the Wolverine Jazz Band. This is about the, I think maybe, what is this, the 6th time we've been here? Number 6, I think. I think this is the first time we've actually had all 7 regular members of the band up here. We've had lots of very good subs, but this is the regular Wolverine Jazz Band. So if you'd like to take a little bit of the Wolverine Jazz Band home with you, we have a few CDs that we have been saving since the last century just for such an occasion. So if you'd like to buy some CDs, we do have some available. We also have a website, wolverinejazzband.net, and presence Wolverine Jazz Band on Facebook and Instagram. So there you are. And tell you a little bit more about that as we go along. So Tom has decided for his aria of the evening to sing a beautiful song called Dr. Jazz.
Everybody gets the blues now and then and don't know what to do. I've had it happen many times before, and so have you. But my blues are gone and past. I found out what to do at last. When I'm all in, down and out, you can hear me shout. Well, hello, Central, give me Dr. Jazz. Yes, he's got what I need, I'll say he has. Oh, when the world is wrong and I've got the blues, he's the one that makes me put on both my dancing shoes. The more I gets, the more I needs, it seems. I even page that doctor in my dreams. When troubles are bound to mix, he's the one that gets me fixed. Hello, Central, give me Dr. Jazz. Central, give me Dr. Jazz. Hey, listen up, Doc. This is what I has. The more I get, the more I need to see. I even page that doctor in my dream. When troubles I'm bound to mix, he's the one that gets me fixed. Hello, Central, give me Dr. Jazz.
Tom Boats right there. And Hello Central, give me Dr. Jazz. We're going to do a tune right now that was composed by a fellow from the Boston area. I think he was from Brockton, but he might have been from JP, someone told me. His name was Jimmy McHugh, and he was a songwriter, played piano for some time in his professional career. He made his way to New York in the late 20s, and he partnered up with a lyricist named Dorothy Fields, and they combined to write a lot of the music for the Cotton Club reviews, including quite a few that featured Duke Ellington's band in the 1920s. Later on, he went to Hollywood and did some very interesting pop tunes for the movies. But we're going to play an instrumental version of a tune that he did for one of the Cotton Club reviews called Digga Digga Do. That's called Digga, Digga, Do. I saw some nice dancing out there, too. All right. We'll just have to challenge you with some faster ones, I guess, with the dancing. But we're going to do a slow one right now. We do a number of festivals. We've done quite a few over the years and have taken us as far as Olympia, Washington, and all sorts of places. Phoenix, Arizona, different places around the country that have traditional jazz festivals. And when we play this next tune, I always introduce it as a song of our people. And no one gets it except the band, but it's nice anyway. This is our version of a Patti Page tune called Old Cape Cod. And it will feature Jimmy Mazzy, who sounds and looks very much like Patti Page. If you come up during the break, you'll see what I mean. Anyway.
The empty chair.
Okay.
That's where I'm not.
Like the sand dune, salty air, quaint little villages here and there. You're sure to fall in love with old Cape Cod. Old Cape Cod, if you like the taste of a lobster stew, served by a window with an ocean view, you're sure to fall in love with old Cape Cod. Miles of dunes that seem to wreck you, winding roads beneath the skies of blue. Church bells are chiming on Sunday morning, remind you of the town where you were born. If you spend an evening, you'll want to stay, watching the moonlight on Cape Cod Bay. You're sure to fall in love with old Cape Cod. Miles of road that seem to beckon you under June beneath the stars of blue. Church bells are chiming out the Sunday morning, remind you of the town where you were born. If you spend an evening you'll want to say, watching the moon on Cape Cod Bay, you should have fallen in love with old Cape Cod. You should have fallen in love with old Cape Cod.
Jimmy Mazzy, Old Cape Cod, and Jeff Hughes on the flugelhorn. Well, we're going to do one more tune before we take a short break. Again, we want to thank Dick and all the effort he's put in over the last 2 years in getting us back here in this concert series off the ground. I almost said off the road. That's not what I meant. Off the ground. And looking forward to all the fine concerts coming up. I will be back, actually, with Dan Gable's band, so I'll see you in a few weeks. We'll be doing our tribute to Glenn Miller, so that'll be an interesting show. We're doing a whole bunch of those programs at the end of July. We want to recognize a couple of members of our audience. The Dawsons, who are big fans of ours. I don't know where they were. Ed was here, and I didn't get to say hello because, there we are, because I was fighting with the sound system, but I'll say hello soon. And Dave Whitney, who's out there someplace, and I want to thank Dave for coming as well. So right now, we're going to do a tune that was written by a trombone player. That's all right. We have another set to make up for it. This is a tune by Kid Ory, the great New Orleans trombone player, and he wrote this for Louis Armstrong's Hot Five. Actually, it was the Hot Five plus one or two towards the end of that band's life, and it's called the Savoy Blues. Tom Boats, and that's the Savoy Blues. We're going to be back in just a few minutes. Thank you very much, and see you in a bit. Okay. thank you. We're back. So, thank you very much. We just played a tune by Con Conrad, a songwriter in the 1920s. This song was actually from 1920. It was called Moonlight. So we're going to go even further back than that. One of the great figures in New Orleans jazz was a piano player and composer named Jelly Roll Morton. And, if you're interested in colorful jazz figures, I suggest you look him up. He had a lot of stories, that most of which he made up, but even those are pretty good. He composed a lot of great tunes. This one that we're going to do right now is one that Ross asked about. It's often done up-tempo. We often think of it in a swing era context. Danny Goodman recorded it, and Fletcher Henderson arranged it for him, but we're going to do it closer to the original sort of ragtime 20s style in this. So we're going to do a version featuring Ross Pito on piano of the King Porter Stomp. All right. Well, that was called King Porter Stomp, and that was Ross Pito on piano. How'd you like that? Perfect tempo. So we're going to play another number now that we've been working up over the pandemic. We actually were. We sort of were rehearsing via phone and so forth on here. This is a tune that, if you remember, the Paramount Jazz Band of Boston, which featured Jeff and Jimmy a year or two ago, They did this tune. This was a very early song by Frank Lesser. And I don't know, I've always meant to look up if it was part of a show or not. It probably was. It came from about 1934. I think Mildred Bailey introduced this tune, and we're going to have Jimmy sing this. It's called Junk Man.
Junk man, all the broken heart I got from you. I'm gonna give that junk man a broken heart for loaded 32. I'm gonna give that junk man my old gray rags and wearing armband black. Pack your junk man, pack your bags, 'cause I'm getting on your tag. I ain't bragging. Can't throw me down. I'm gonna fix your wagon so you can't go to town. I'm gonna do you right just like you done me wrong. I'm gonna do you black and blue. And then I'll tell that junk man to come along and pick up what's left of you. and blue. And I'll tell that junk man to come along and pick up what's left of you. Yes, I will.
That's Jimmy Mazzy from Junk Band. So that's a nice song for next Valentine's Day if you're in the mood. We're going to do a tune right now. We're going to do a tune to feature Jeff Hughes right now. Did you say South Ramp? No, you didn't say that one. I'm sorry. He said he would like to do this next tune. We've done this a couple of times here. This is a special Jeff Hughes arrangement of a good one, as they say, called Down by the Old Mill Stream.
By the old mill stream, yeah, where I first met you, with your eyes of blue, while you were dressed in gingham too. For it was there that I knew that you loved me. You love me true. 16, my village queen, down by that old mill stream.
was called Down by the Old Mill Stream. Well, we're going to play, actually before we do that, I'm going to tell you a little bit about the band. Someone always comes up and says, "Are you from Michigan?" Because of the Wolverines, and we are not. We have nothing to do with Michigan. It was a complete, almost coincidence. We took our name from a band that probably did have something to do with Michigan from the 1920s, the Wolverines, which featured Bix Beiderbecke on cornet, made some very nice records, and also the tune The Wolverine Blues, which we may or may not play later on. That was another Jelly Roll Morton tune. And, we took that name back in 1995 because the original name of the band, which I had already made up on flyers, was the Yankee Clippers. And there was a folk band by that name, as I found out, so I had to change quickly, and that's what I came up with. So we have been the Wolverines since 1995. So we're going to play a tune right now for you that's on one of our CDs. I think it's actually the title track of one of our CDs. It's called Happy Feet. This was a tune that came about 1929 and was sung by Bing Crosby and the Rhythm Boys in one of the first sound musicals, The King of Jazz, which supposedly traced the life of Paul Whiteman and his band, The King of Jazz. And an interesting movie from a musical point of view, maybe not from a dramatic one, but this song featured quite prominently, and it is called Happy Feet. When you find out that your mind keeps you worried and blue, you can always let your feet keep your disposition sweet. I want to see what makes me feel the way I do. If you kindly cast an eye on 2 good reasons why. Happy feet, I've got those happy feet. I give them the lowdown beat and they begin dancing. I've got those 10 little tapping toes, and when you hear a tune, I can't control my dancing feet to save my soul. A weary blues, I gets down into my shoes, and then my shoes refuse to ever grow weary. I grow tearful on an earful of music sweet, 'cause I have got those happy feet. Tom Boats right here. happy feet right there. All right, we have some fine dancers out there. We're going to give you more of a dance tune, I think. So we're going to play a tune right now that was originally a waltz called In Other Words. It was in the late 40s, I think, and there were a couple of vocal groups. I think it was the Brothers Four or one of those groups that recorded this as a waltz. But it didn't take off until Frank Sinatra recorded this as a 4/4 tune. He did it with Count Basie, although some other people had done it as well. And the title then became Fly Me to the Moon.
Fly me to the moon, let me with the stars, let me see what life is like on Jupiter or Mars. In other words, hold my hand. In other words, hardly kiss me. Fill my heart with love and let me play forevermore. You are all I worship, all I honor, overflow. In other words, please be true. In other words, baby, I love you. fill my heart with love and let me sing forevermore. You are all I worship, all I honor and adore. In other words, in other words, yes, in other words, mama, I love you.
That's Jimmy Banzi right there. Fly Me to the Moon.
Thank you. I want to ask.
We're going to slow things down here a little bit for this next one. We want to feature Jimmy on a lovely ballad, which would be this was a song that I can't remember who composed this. You remember who composed this? It was a young fellow from either Yale or Princeton who composed this for, I think it was Princeton, for the Princeton Triangle Society, and it was for a show in Princeton at the end of the night, or in the middle of the 1930s, about 1934, 35. It was a big hit, and he, I think, died in a car accident right after that, so he didn't get to reap the benefits. But we remember this song, which is called East of the Sun.
East of the sun and west of the moon, we'll build a dream house of love, dear, near to the sun and the day, near to the moon at night. We'll live in a heavenly way, dear, living under and pale moonlight, just you and I. Forever today, baby, love will not die. We'll keep it that way. Up above the stars we'll find a harmony of love to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon, dear. East of the sun and west of the moon. just you and I. Forever and a day. Love will not die. We'll keep it that way. Far beyond the stars we'll find a harmony of love to a lovely tune. East of the sun and west of the moon. East of the sun and west of the moon.
Didn't I tell you he sounded like Patty Page? That's Jimmy Mazzy right there. East of the sun and west of the moon. So we're going to do one more tune for you, but before we do, let me tell you who's up here. We are the Wolverine Jazz Band. Over here, Ross Pito on piano, Jimmy Mazzy on banjo and vocals, Dave Didrikson on the drums, Jeff Hughes on trumpet and flugelhorn, Tom Boats on trombone, Rick McWilliams on tuba. My name is John Clark. I want to thank Dick for having us out here again. Hopefully we'll be back, and we'll see you all again soon. If you happen to be in the environs of Bar Harbor, 1 week from today, we will be playing a concert at the Criterion Theater at 8 p.m. on Sunday night next week. So, we're probably going to end up that program with this tune that we're going to do right now. This is a tune called Once in a While. There's a ballad called that, but this is not it. This was a tune that was composed, I don't know if it was for Louis Armstrong, but he recorded it with his Hot Five in about 1928, and it is a very hot tune. So we are the Wolverine Jazz Band, and this is Once in a While. you. We're the Wolverine Jazz Band, and we hope to see you all again very soon. Somebody's coming.
We were glad to have the Wolverine Jazz Band here for our opening concert. Give them a round of applause. Don't they deserve it? And next week, it's a tribute to Billy Joel. So we hope to see all of you here, and those who hear me beyond here, please tell your friends that Billy Joel, a tribute to Billy Joel next week. So good to see everybody, and see you next Sunday at 2 o'clock.